to the show. I wanted to talk about quiet quitting. Many of you who have watched my channel for some time, been avid followers and so forth, know that I don't believe in it. But the question is, are quiet quitters average? Before we get there, let's talk about what quiet quitting is. Okay? Quiet quitting, it's been something that's been around for a long time. It's been out there for a long time, but you had somebody on TikTok that decided they wanted to use a word and it became the buzzword, and now it's in just about every single news article, literature out there. People are talking about it, what it is and so forth. And ultimately, what it comes down to is this, guys. It's when people come to work and do the bare minimum, okay? It's when people come to work and do the bare minimum. Doesn't matter why, because there's always a whole bunch of whys out there. Overworked, burnt out, don't like the boss, don't like the job, don't like any of that stuff, okay? But they come to work and do the bare minimum. Are these guys average? And the question is, or the answer to that, in my opinion, is yes. Because ultimately, you're accountable and responsible for what goes on and what you accept in your life. If you're working for a company that doesn't treat you well, you don't have to work for that company anymore. There's choices out there. You can make a switch. But if you're coming to work and you are doing the bare minimum, that is considered to be average or below average. You remember when you went to school and you did the bare minimum? If you did the bare minimum, you got D's and F's. That's below average. And if you did the minimum, maybe you got C's. I don't like average. I don't like to eat average steak. I don't like to eat average pizza. I don't like to eat average Chinese food. I don't like to go to average hotels. So I don't condone quiet quitting because it's average. I don't like getting paid average. I like to make a lot of money. If you're accepting average, then you can quiet quit. But the ladder climbers over here on this side of the field, we're not average. So do I think quiet quitters are average? Yes, I do. I do. And many of you guys are probably like this. But if you're average, you're accepting to be average. I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but when I went to school, in high school, I was a B+ student. In college, I was more of an A- student. Had better grades in college than I did in high school. That's above average. When I started in the workforce, I may have started off at an average salary of $48,000, but quickly I shared and showed myself to be above average, which therefore I got the above average pay. I entered sales. Of course, they give you a nice base salary. Average people are making $200,000 a year. That's not my salary. Many of you already know what numbers we've done over here and what numbers we can currently do. It's not average. It's above average, guys. So I don't condone quiet quitting because it's accepting being average. My kids go to school. Believe me, my daughter is not going to come home with average grades. Miss Wade does a fantastic job at making sure that she's prepared for every one of her classes in her test. So quiet quitters, in my opinion, are average. And I don't accept average. That's the reason why I don't condone quiet quitting, guys. There's so many excuses out there. Parents here, and issues at the house, troubling spouse, boss is mean, company culture sucks. You're in control of that. You're in control of yourself dealing with that, and accepting that. And if you're going to accept being average, that's a choice that you have to live with. I don't condone quiet quitting. I don't condone quiet quitting, and I think that quiet quitters are indeed average. All right? Wanted to get that out there. Many of you guys are probably like, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Quiet quitters are average, and that's all to it. That's it. All right, I want to talk about something else. We started off this show with success from two brothers breaking into tech sales from different lines of work. One a data analyst, the other one a high school teacher. Now we're going to talk about, we then switched over to quiet quitters and being average. Do you think quiet quitters make $1 million a year? Do you think quiet quitters make $1 million a year? No, they don't. And guess what, guys? Tech can pay you $1 million a year. And believe me, quiet quitters are not getting paid $1 million a year. If you want to get to the bag in tech and make millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you ain't going to be quiet quitting. But let me talk about salaries. Facebook salaries over $1 million, which field or which jobs that the company pays people over $1 million. Again, this is total compensation, not just the base salaries, okay? We're gonna hit on this really quick. When you go to school for a degree that's gonna be useful. No more excuses, guys, because you wanna come out making big salaries. You wanna come out making big salaries. And here are some of those salaries or some of those fields where you're going to be making a big salary. Data engineer. How much do they get paid? $100,000 to $245,000. These are $1 million career choices, $1 million jobs, because you can gain equity. Other compensation company bonuses and so forth, where you could be making over $1 million as a data engineer. And you're probably like, what? What are you saying, Antoine? Yes, you can make over $1 million as a data engineer at a company like Facebook. Now, Facebook is a company that pays people very high salaries. But if you are very good at what you do, very talented, you can make over $1 million as a data engineer at Facebook. Base salary, $100,000 to $245,000. Data engineer in analytics, base salary $137 to $226.
Damn!
Data engineer GMS $129 to $143. Data engineering manager $181 to $271 base salaries. Software engineer manager $196 to $299. Do you think any of these people have anthropology degrees, basket weaving degrees, arts, photography, film, study? No, they don't. The majority of people, the majority of these careers are sourced from STEM-related education, STEM-related training. Go to school. If you're going to go to school and gain something or choose a degree or a field that's going to map to positions that's going to pay you very, very well. That's ultimately what you're going to school for. You're going to school to get paid. You're going to school to gain a career, to get paid, to make a life for yourself. Maybe you don't understand that, but that's why you're going to school. At its fundamental level, that's why you're going to school. People say you're going to school to learn. Well, shit, you're going to school to take a whole bunch of classes. Are you going to learn? I don't know. Are you going to end up in a field that can pay you money? If you choose the right one, you can. And you can be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, even $1 million. Production engineer, $118, $295.
Damn!
Software engineer, machine learning, $160 to $264.
Damn!
Security engineer, our cybersecurity brothers and sisters. Big time field. You guys heard of the story that Della put out there. Interested in cybersecurity. She decided she wanted to go into tech sales, did course careers. Now she's working in tech sales for a cybersecurity company. Cybersecurity engineer, $116 to $278. Life-changing money, guys. Life-changing money. You make that sort of money, you're doing this. You're driving around with your kids on a boat. You got friends. You got a nice house. You can take the trips that you want. Have a nice car, maybe some rental properties. You ladder climbing, guys. You're ladder climbing. You make that kind of a money. You're not talking about the garbage that's out there today. You're not dealing with garbage people. You're not complaining about who's going to pick up the dinner tab if you're taking somebody on a date, especially if you're a single man. That's not a concern for you. That's not a concern for you. That's only a concern for people who are not making money. If you're going on a date and you're asking a girl on a date, if you have a good salary and you're making money, you pay for the date. This is what it is. You pay for the date. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That's entertainment for you for the night. We pay for entertainment. We pay to have a good time. Wireless system engineer, $160 to $232. System industrial engineer, $162 to $234. Business engineer, $150 to $217. All these are $1 million salaries, guys. Let's get from out of the engineering. Data, analysis, and research. AI, $160, $169. Research scientist, $129 to $283. Data scientist, $1,000 to $260. User experience researcher, $142 to $215. Get your UX UI design on, but get to the money. Okay, data analyst, $128 to $183. Security analyst, $141 to $159. Product and privacy managers. You don't have to be super technical. You can be a program manager, project manager, making over $1 million at companies like Facebook. Base salaries, $115 to $260. Program manager, $220. Product manager, $287. Big time money. Art and product design. If you use your art degree the right way, you'll be able to map it to a field, okay? But you have to have a plan on doing so. Creative director, $209, $248. Product design manager, $211 to $216. Big time salaries, guys. Tech is a place for you if you want to make the transition. If that hasn't motivated you yet, I don't know what's going to, okay? I don't know what's going to. Maybe you need to change the environment that you're in if you're struggling to get to the money, if you're struggling to advance, if you're scared, maybe you need to change your environment. Maybe you need to get around more people that are optimistic about life, that are people who see the great things versus the negative things in life, the beauty. Change your environment potentially. Change your environment potentially if you're struggling making a transition, getting to where you ultimately want to get to, or if you're quiet quitting. Change your environment. That's your responsibility. You are accountable for doing that for yourself.